on to the next speaker. Next speaker is Dr. Reditio Paracoso from National Cardiovascular Center, Harapan Kita. He's going to talk about how to deal with ASDs in patients with pulmonary hypertension. Dr. Paracoso, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Thank you for the brief introduction. First of all, I would like to thank the coordination committee that allow me to share these topics. So the second MASD with the pulmonary hypertension poses the clinical dilemma, close or not close. The challenge is to precisely identify the subset of the second MASD patient with reversible pulmonary hypertension will benefit with shunt closure. Favorable findings, hemodynamic for closure is if a PVR is less than 3 Wood units or PVRI less than 6 Wood units per meter square. But the point is the RR ratio is less than 0.33. However, the hemodynamic cutoff that precludes this effect in the absence of the Eisenmenger syndrome is not been established. So if we don't close that those patients, so the patient got the risk of the more severe pulmonary hypertension and so go to the Eisenmenger syndrome. If closed, have to tell about the pulmonary hypertension. So despite of the procedure, the point is the selective pulmonary vasodilator may be considered before or after the treat and repair strategy. So how about if the RR ratio is more than 0.33, close or not close? So if the RR ratio between 0.33 until 0.5, it should be discussed based on the individual base. So despite of the lack of the solid data, the acute pulmonary vasodilator testing is commonly used if the PVR is decreased less than 20% or decrease in 20% in RR ratio. So we can close. So the closure protocol will be first the vasoreactor testing with the oxygen nitric oxide or alloprost. If the RR ratio decrease more than 10%, or attempted closure. If there's a decrease in more than 20% of the MPAP, no decrease in aortic pressure and no worsening in signs and symptoms. So according to this publication, so if the saturation oxygen is more than 93, this must be predominantly left to right shunt and must be the reversible pulmonary vascular disease and defect could be closed. But if less than 93%, so be careful. So some publications, balloon occlusion test. Yeah, so if the temporary balloon occlusion is to identify to a degree of underlying pulmonary vasculopathy, but it's no proven value to predict outcome after the defect closure. So safety and efficacy of the transcatheter closure in ASD closure. So we can conclude that improvement in functional capacity was not restricted to adults with normalization of the pulmonary artery pressures, that indicating of the benefits of the reducing of volume of overload in the right ventricle also can be observed. So if we have any doubt, we can use the fenestrated device. Me, myself, with my team is using the LifeTech fenestrated device. This is a study about using the fenestrated device. And then how about the fenestrated surgery? In ASD patients with severe pulmonary hypertension, it should be it can be closed with this fenestrated patch, but we are dealing about the again with the pulmonary hypertension crisis and the length of the ICU stay. So this is in my center in Harapan Kita. It's 2017 until now. Actually, we have closed with the pulmonary hypertension with the second MASD for the 65 patient. This is the data. Success rate is 100%. We use the fenestrated device in 5 patients. This is the data. The first, so the patient usually came with the severe heart failure, but after the closure follow-up, and then the patient functional class is increasing. But you know, here, the pulmonary artery pressure is not to decrease significantly. This is the first case of my patient in Harapan Kita. The 27 years old female have a worsening dyspnea, diagnosed with secondary ACL pulmonary hypertension, and usually in my hospital protocol, they send to the cath lab, and this is the results. And what's the results? We have a conference in my hospital, and then decided to give the specific pulmonary arterial dilator, which is sildenafil, 1 milligram per kgs, 3 times per day, and do recatheterization. And after 12 months, you can see this is the results. So what's the plan? Close or not to close? So we put the fenestrated device. So what happened at that? We have a slight atrial arrhythmia, but it converts to sinus rhythm. And you can see the hemodynamics after this, the PA pressure still high, but it's low compared to before closing. So this is 6 months follow-up. The functional class is increasing, and the tricuspid gradient is still high, 70 millimeter mercury. Another example, how we are dealing with the pulmonary hypertension, is that non-fenestrated device. Is it possible? So this time is 26 old Primi Gravid, 26 weeks gestational age. Despite of the optimization heart treatment, she had a heart failure, functional class 3. So we do the transesophageal echo, and this is the hemodynamic results. And we put the device, and again, the pulmonary artery pressure is still high, but decreased compared to before. And this is the follow-up, 6 months, this improving function class. So the conclusion, the transcatheter closure in patients with secondary ACL and pulmonary hypertension can be successfully performed and is associated with good outcomes. The fenestrated device could be alternative option in intermediate hemodynamic findings. Thank you for Dr. Yanti and Dr. Rizky for completing the data. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So thank you for a nice lecture. The lecture is now open for discussion. Any question or comment? I have a question. Actually, the only one company is the manufacturing the pre-fenestrated device. But the problem is that you don't know whether the device is fit to the defect or not. So what is the sequence of the procedure? If you decide the device size, then you make the fenestration or test. You put the device just like a test.
I asked the company to put some numbers of the defects. So
oh yeah.
So if so they make for the more than 28 until 36 fenestrated device.
I envy you. Yeah, it is impossible.
Then the patency of this fenestration, the patency of it, how long it remain open?
This patient is my research is around one year, and the last visit is still patent.
Still patent.
Still
Okay.
patent. but the problem is the TVG is still high, but the improving of the functional class.
Have you had on follow-up closure, spontaneous closure endothelialization of this fenestration in your patients?
No, for more than 5 patients, there's still pattern.
Because we had one child and we ordered the fenestrated device, and it closed after 1 year, and we had to put a stent in the fenestration. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Right, I think we need to move on. You have a comment, Roberto?
About your patient, you used the LifeTech? OptiTech, okay.
Okay, this is something on the related subject, creating fenestration in devices. So I would like to